preseason, you were rocked and ready, locked and loaded. Now it is opening night for the Portland Trailblazers. Hey, Portland Trailblazers opening night. 9-point underdogs in the opener.
And a half.
No, I got it at 9 on the DraftKings app right now because when you said that, I went and I checked the old app because I got my bets in.
Mm-hmm.
9 on the dot.
I got a 9.5 on the old BetMGM.
BetMGM's got a 9.
Casino sportsbook.
Makes me feel better about getting it at 9. That's the Clippers by 9, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a given.
9-point line's a little stinky on opening night, but
It sure is.
I'm not touching it.
I am, just because I'm going to look, this is the year. We've been told that this is a year where expectations should be low.
Not with somebody else's poll.
I have to start this season off the correct way, which is if it's going to be a fade the Blazers year, I have to start it on night 1, right? I mean, isn't that how it goes? If the bankroll is going to grow this way, I'm going to be committed to the team. It is tied for the largest spread of the day on opening day. Do you know what the other game that would be tied with a 9-point spread is?
Oh, let me take a look at.
Well, no, don't look at it because the betting lines are on there.
Oh, well, I'm just gonna look at the matchups here. We'll go like this.
Those betting lines are everywhere now.
Ooh, no.
Yeah,
That's tough.
yeah, because
Is it Wizards Pacers?
No, that's a great guess though. No, it's Pistons Heat. Pistons Heat. Detroit.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
9-point dogs at Miami. Yeah. That was a really good guess though, with the Wizards, the Wizards.
Yeah, I just went.
That's 5.
I went with the stinkiest team I could think of.
Yeah,
that was literally all I was going for. I was like, what's the stinkiest?
You want to know what the spread is on the nobody wins game, the Rockets versus the Magic? Because even if the team that wins, they're losing towards their goals.
No, the Magic want to be good.
Well, they're only 4.5-point favorites over the Rockets.
They legitimately want to be good. Like they want to push for a playoff spot this year.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
They're big enough to.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it was
got all the talls.
if it was all about if you made playoffs based on size, they'd be a 1 seed.
It would be.
They're huge.
Overwhelmingly a 1 seed.
But they've got Banchero and Wagner, and they've got to figure some stuff out at the guard spot. But they think they have the bones of like what they want going forward.
The bones. All right. Well, we will be talking Blazers today.
Indeed, we have lots of Blazer stuff.
We will talk the NBA in their opening night last night.
It's good basketball last night.
Yeah, and we got a lot of football that we need to get to, including college football. We will be looking at Oregon, Utah, the early peek at the Ducks and the Utes. This game is huge, and it's a massive game for the Pac-12 race. But for Oregon and the Utes together, both have 1 loss in conference play already, and you can't afford to have 2 this early.
Now, you pick up 2 at this point in time, you can pretty much write it off.
Yeah, the head-to-heads are going to be so weird.
Yeah.
Because I could see some real cannibalization going on. Because, look, the Beavs going down to the desert. We can talk about that game today too. That's a dangerous game. I would be scared if I'm a Bee fan looking at Arizona.
Not a great place to be.
At night in Tucson with the way that the Wildcats have been playing against 3 really good opponents
And
before their bye.
Something for everyone.
And coming out of a bye, just staring down the barrel of the Beavs. And look, Beavs are going to have everything ready for them, and the defense has been looking better with Trent Bray, and they've had an extra week to prepare for a freshman quarterback in Noah Fafita. But and so there should be that putting Beavs fans at ease.
Yeah.
But that's scary, man. That's a scary Arizona team.
You know what?
Spooky season too.
On the Vancouver Ford text line, there's maybe a little bit of support here for the direction you should take if you're going to fade the Blazers this year, Dusty.
Yeah.
Screw the spread, hit the over. Blazers are giving up 120 a game.
Damn, that is a good one.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
What is the line?
What's our over-under?
226. Oh, smash that over.
Yeah.
226?
I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah. Maverick Spurs is 231.
Minus 108 on the over.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Hawks Hornets is 237.
Done and done.
So what was it? The
Defense
2 years ago,
optional.
at the end of the year, I had a rule: if the over was under 229, take it. and it hit like I want to say 18 out of the final 21.
Yeah.
It was free money. It was the easiest thing imaginable because what would happen is a team would get up so far ahead that they would empty their benches. But normally you'd be like, oh, empty benches, things. No, it would be rat ball for a half. And so you didn't know what was going to happen. There's no defense played. And it ended up being like 125 to 117. And you're like, it hit easy.
Easy money.
And so you just had that almost every single night. And to be honest, I think the Blazers are going to score. I don't think it's going to be very efficient this year, but they're going to give up so many points.
So many points.
So many points.
All right. Well, hey, there we go. I got 3 bets already placed on this game. So we're in. We're locked and loaded. I have a question for you, Danny.
Sir?
Have you seen the Sports Illustrated article on the Michigan shenanigans?
I have not.
You have not?
No.
Yeah, Richard Johnson posted something on the Michigan
Dick
today.
Johnson posted it, huh?
Yeah, Dick Johnson posted for Sports Illustrated today an article about Connor Stallions. Again, porn star name. I
Like Dick Johnson,
think
isn't it?
you and him are far too similar.
Are
I
you
just
saying I may have ghost writ this?
yeah.
Ghost writ? Ghost wrote?
Ghost written.
Yeah.
Well, you may have ghost written the Michigan Manifesto, which is what Connor Stallions had written and sent to people. It's a 500 to 600 page document which outlines every single move that he would make as the coach of Michigan's football team. It's outlining a blueprint to leading Michigan Wolverines football program, which he called the Michigan Manifesto. Any idea you could ever have, there's a place where it belongs in the document. It's super organized.
Googling this now?
So he was a Michigan superfan growing up. He declined to go to Michigan in order to join the Naval Academy and went to the Naval Academy. Sound familiar to anybody out there? I mean, you didn't go to the academy, but you joined the Air Force instead of going to college. But ended up finding his way back around to Michigan. He became friends with people on the outskirts of the program and then got his way into a friendship with linebackers coach Chris Partridge and special teams coordinator and safeties coach, former Oregon State Beaver, the son of Jim Harbaugh, Jay Harbaugh.
Indeed.
He's close with the entire staff, and he said he was particularly close with those two guys. And then how he got his way in, how he weaseled his way into the Michigan program was he was watching TV cut-ups, and he was able to decipher the hand signals on TV. So then he told Josh Gaddis, then the offensive coordinator at Michigan, that he could figure these out and he could do it. So they brought him along. He was on the sidelines for a couple of games, and he was able to look across the field, debunk the hand signals, and tell Gaddis which coverage was coming. I think that this is you, and you would do this to USC football.
I mean, if it helped.
Or it is essentially what you've done with the Blazers, but a media role, not a coaching role.
Fair.
I mean, this is it. And there is a 99.9% chance that there is a manifesto of some sort on your computer.
Whoa. We don't use manifesto in the house.
I think it's your, but I don't know if it's your Blazers manifesto or it's your Trojan manifesto or I don't know what it is. I think you have one.
It's my Trojan horse.
It's called, well, he did the alliteration with the Michigan Manifesto.
Yeah.
It's got a very negative connotation to it.
It's my Trojan textbook.
And now you see that this guy, this guy is a football manifesto guy.
And also, come on, man, don't leave a digital footprint. Be smarter about this.
Well, he did it. And then he was texting all of his buddies, and he was starting to use, like, the way that this started is his Navy buddies or his Marine buddies, he was buying tickets for other people to go to games and do the recordings. Like, this is wild to me.
Yeah, this is, and also,
I think that you I think you're Connor Stallions of
No.
USC football.
Look,
You're one step away.
I wouldn't be against it, but also it might help the program too much, and Grinch would get to keep his job. So, not quite there yet. Like,
this is how you get in though.
honestly, this is how I would go in and make the move on Grinch's job. Set him up for failure, and then
Wait,
go the other
but
way.
wouldn't you want him to succeed?
No.
Like, what if you were to be the guy who fixed him? Wouldn't that make you happy though?
No, I want to see him fail.
Why? He's not a bad person.
I know, but he hurt me.
This is why you don't want to be the driver that stole Danny's food.
This is
Holy smokes.
This is wild though. Like
Yeah. It gets weirder and weirder every day.
yeah, no, it does, and that's like maybe Harbaugh didn't know that it was this insane.
Oh, he didn't know that this guy was this
Like,
Looney Tunes.
Yeah, no, because this guy's off the freaking rails.
This
man.
may be what gets Harbaugh off the hook, if we're being quite
yeah,
honest.
like oh no, you want to know what happened here? Michigan hired a PI and they dug into all of this.
Michigan blew the whistle on themselves.
Yeah, they're like, no, this dude is cuckoo, and they were too afraid to tell him because they were gonna go full the fan.
Ooh, go De Niro. He'll
Yeah.
kidnap Wesley Snipes before the big game.
Yeah, that's.
See, I don't know. I think this
Blake
guy's
Corum
right.
goes disappearing once.
I think this guy is right up Harbaugh's alley. Because let's not pretend like Jim Harbaugh isn't cuckoo for Cocoa
Oh
Puffs
no,
himself.
he's a wacko too.
He
Yeah.
is, but like his wacko is more like again. We'll go Super Troopers here. He's more wacko in a cheeky and fun way. They're not.
See, but I think that Harbaugh is
Evil
one of those
shenanigans.
wackos where he only lets you know the parts of his wacko that he wants you to know.
Yeah, but this guy went full Colt. This guy $100. This guy's got a drink mix in his manifesto.
You got that going for you.
I'm
Like
just
to drink
saying.
their haterade and eat their hater tots.
God, he's gonna have a Michigan mojito, and it's gonna implicate me even further. Just drink the mojito. One of us. One of us. Yeah, no, this dude's running a Colt. That's what this is. Yeah, he's sending tickets out.
Is Ohio State tears one of the ingredients in the
Yes.
Michigan mojito?
He's blending Buckeyes and oh god, yeah, no, this guy's cuckoo. I don't even know what to do with this.
Yeah, no, I could see him doing this, man. I could definitely see him doing it. Connor Stallions, Danny Meringue. Are they the same person? Next on Serial.
Oregon Ducks football is on the
You can party with the party animals in the comment section, mostly Rufio. I see Tanner. I love reading some of your names on here. Sai is in there right now in the comment section. And then Dunking on My Shoes. That's just that's a solid YouTube name.
It's a good name.
Solid YouTube name.
There's one out there that is it's in the Jack Ramsey's quite often is dogging them per 36.
Dogging them for 36.
No, dog in them
Dog in
per
them.
36.
Oh.
Yeah, so like a metric of how much dog they
Yeah.
have, and I was like, that's
per
that's,
36.
that's-
That's a very niche
very
basketball nerdy handle there.
Yeah, it's very very specific handle. I was like, ooh, that's good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Okay. So go log on, watch the show, be in the comments. We're there. We see all the text. We see all of the comments on the YouTubes as well. Let's party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. And have a great day today. Blazers get their season underway tonight.
In Los Angeles.
In LA, not a lot of expectations on this Portland Trail Blazers team. You have a poll up, though, that I find pretty interesting. The line for Scoot Henderson's points tonight, 13.5. Which way are you betting? Over or under? You can find that at Danny Meringue. 491 votes in, and 79.5 are over.
It's basically 80-20.
Yikes.
It's like people didn't watch preseason.
Yeah.
And I know you did because y'all reacted to everything I talked about.
the bar needs to be lowered.
Yeah.
The bar needs to be lowered significantly.
Like 13.5 is probably the line
Yeah.
for what I expect to average this season.
Yeah, this on
Yeah.
the season, and that's not coming out of the gate. That's getting comfortable and playing an entire NBA season against no non-playoff teams as well,
No, and the thing
and
is,
teams that are not as good defensively as the Clippers are.
tonight they're going against Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard,
Yeah,
and Ivica Zubac, who is a very large man. Who Scoot played against two very big bigs in Nurk and Walker Kessler, and did not do well finishing around them. He also shot incredibly poorly off the dribble, 2 for 16 off the bounce in the preseason. The preseason is not the end-all be-all. It's a very, very small sample size. But what we saw was that he struggles finishing over NBA size. He struggles shooting off the bounce, and that his decision-making is going to need some refining. None of these things are surprising. He's 19 years old. But like I've seen people who were replying to another tweet I put out of what are your expectations for Scoot Henderson this season or for tonight? 20 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. And I'm just like, is he getting 35 shots?
I think that a lot of those folks are the ones that are going to be the first to say he's overrated. He was a bust. They shouldn't have drafted him at 3. They should have traded out of the pick. You know, those are the ones that'll be the first ones to give up on Scoot Henderson because they have an unrealistic expectation of what he's going to be. He is a very highly touted prospect, but make no mistake about it, it's going to take time and he's going to need seasoning.
No, there's a lot that Scoot needs to work on, and that's entirely fine. In talking to folks in the organization, the overwhelming both public and private sentiment is like, we're totally fine with him. Like, but we know where he's at.
Yeah.
There's an understanding of like, we know he's got stuff to work on.
20 points out the gate. Good
That-
Lord.
look, and
that'd
that-
be
th-
now.
that- that's
that
what-
would probably be the worst thing that happened
Oh
for him.
God, the expectations would go out of control. Remember, that's what Dame did against the Lakers on opening night, and it was like, oh yeah, the guy that had all of the seasoning in the world,
Yeah.
he was very good on opening night and didn't let up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's to be expected. Scoot's essentially 4 years younger than that.
Yep.
That's a massive difference. I would expect, honestly, and what's funny is all the people replying to the expectations for Scoot tonight, a lot of them are like 18 to 22 points. And I'm like, and they have them like 5-6 assists. I'd flip that on its head.
Yeah.
I would drop the scoring way down. If he's going to do anything tonight, in my opinion, it's going to be that maybe he has like 9 or 10 assists. Scoot is a natural passer. He wants to pass more than he wants to shoot.
Facilitator.
Yeah, that's like talking to the other players, like they've all said the same thing. He wants to be a playmaker.
Also, something that I think is going to be an issue as this season goes on, though, is that what you're just saying right there, if the scoring isn't there and that's not in his nature, if the assist numbers aren't there, there will be people who will come down on him when it's not every pass is created equal, because
Yeah.
they also don't have knockdown shooters to
No.
where he will be able to create the most is for perimeter oriented players, where when he's getting to the rim and they're having to defend a pick and roll,
Yep.
right? And they're going to have to get 5 feet in the paint. That's where his kickouts are going to be dynamite and his assist numbers are going to go through the roof. They're not built like that right now.
No,
They are not built like
you're
that.
relying on Tease to carry over the 3-point shooting that he showed when he got to Portland last year, which again his career says otherwise, but
Sure.
the empowerment goes a long way into making a guy feel good, look good, feel good, play good, get paid good, all those things, right? Anthony is obviously one of the best shooters in the league. That's going to help Scoot a ton. That is going to be a gravity situation that's going to help Scoot navigate things significantly more than if he was on a team without a guy like that.
Hopefully for the first basket of the season
Yes, indeed.
for me.
Shouts to Dusty who took that bet.
One of my bets today.
Jeremy's got, a near 40% 3-point shooting from last year. Like he's shown he's basically a plus 3-point shooter now.
Mhm.
I don't think he's going to be a guy that you just park in the corner. That's not how this is going to work.
It's not how you want him to work.
No,
either.
not only that, like, and everybody keeps talking about, well, Scoot needs to do this and Shaden needs to do this. And I'm like, that's not how this is going to work. The offense is going to be run primarily by Ant and Jeremy. And that is to make things easier on Scoot and on Shaden, because neither one of them are prepared for that load. They're just not. And that's entirely expected. Rookie and second year guys, they aren't ready to take that burden on unless you're a transcendent young player. And we see maybe 5-7 of those every 10, 12 years.
Yep.
Like it's not a common thing. So you want the offense to kind of run through those guys. You want Scoot to be the guy who, when they get a stop and they get out in transition, who really pushes the pace. Or they get a secondary break and they use a little 4-on-3 action and he's making decisions there. Or when they double Ant in the pick and roll, which we saw in the preseason from both the Suns and the Jazz, that DeAndre Ayton catches the ball in the middle of the floor and he has a decision to make. And it's either get downhill or swing to the other side where they're helping off Scoot Henderson. He gets to attack a weak side. Those are the things that, like, where you're going to see teams are going to go, show us what you can do, young guy. Because they're not going to care about him night 1 and probably until night 15.
All right. So where do you think that over-under is? Do you think he hits the over of 13.5, or do you think it's under?
The safe bet is under, but I think he goes over, but I'm talking 14. Like, that's probably where my line for him tonight, I think I would say probably 14-7.
14-7.
That's probably where I'd go. 14,
How
7,
efficient
14, 8.
though?
Probably under 50% shooting from the floor.
Efficiency may be an issue for the
Yeah,
team.
I could see him be around like 42%. That'd be a good night, to be honest.
All right.
And if he knocks down a couple catch and shoot threes, that has the chance to push his over up. But if I see him taking a bunch of shots off the bounce because he's a little antsy in his NBA debut, I can see him having a rough
No
shooting
way.
night.
He'd be antsy in his NBA debut, huh? You
Yeah, no.
Don't say.
No way, right?
No way.
No pressures to exceed any kind of expectations. The number 3 overall pick and following in the footsteps of Damian Lillard.
Oh,
No way.
that's the thing.
That definitely wouldn't be there, right?
Oh, shoot.
Mm.
All right, 503-864-6326. That is the Vancouver Ford text line. We will have more on the Blazers season opener tonight down in L.A., taking on the Clippers as the show goes on. We'll also touch on the NBA's regular season openers last night. The Nuggets cruising past the Lakers, and those Suns scraping past the Warriors without one of their key pieces on the floor. But where we go next, let's dive into a little bit of college football. Good news for the Ducks in a game, heading into a game that is completely flipped on its head from what we have had in the past. First, Big Kahuna with the SportsCenter update.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone.
Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft going to be on the call in Rice-Eccles Stadium for the 12:30 kick. And look, I'm excited about this one because this matchup has always been a battle of wills, and that's what we've become accustomed to. Oregon's offense against Utah's defense, and that's usually how this game has been billed and what it has boiled down to over the last handful of years. This year, I'm really excited because it's not the battle of wills that we've come accustomed to. You have two really damn good defenses that are going to be playing against each other.
Yeah, and what's going to be interesting here is Oregon's only favored by less than a touchdown right now.
Yeah.
Which I find a little bit surprising because contrary to popular belief in what Utah did to USC offensively, Utah does not have a great offense.
No.
And if you're talking about which dam is going to break first, I would lean towards Utah's here because the bend don't break, be physical, all that kind of stuff. Like if they're able to bother Oregon, sure they could be in a game, but I have a very hard time seeing Utah's offense being all that successful.
You got an over-under of 20 or 47.5, which means they're looking at that game being like a 28-21 type game, right?
Which,
I mean, 28-20 would be that over-under of 47.5, 27-20, 28-20. I could see that one playing out there.
do you think this is a game where Oregon tries to play a little bit more control?
Yeah.
Do they try to run the ball
Yeah.
significantly more and chew some clock? And,
Yeah, but I don't know how they can do that, and I don't know how effective that's going to be. What you ultimately want to do is you want to take and do exactly what Utah did, or what Oregon State did to Utah, where they beat them 21-7. And Oregon's ability to run the football is going to be paramount in this game. But what you have is you have two defenses that are really good. And I mean, we haven't had this where if you go across the board in the Pac-12, really the number one defense in the Pac-12 is UCLA. They're number one in almost everything.
Mhm.
But it is in defensive scoring. Number 2, Utah. Number 3, Oregon. 15 points a game, 17 points a game. Total defense, number 2 versus number 3. Rushing defense, number 2 versus number 3. Passing defense, they're tied for second. Both of them give up 217 yards per game.
That's super weird that close.
Well, it's exactly
Yeah.
at this point in the year that they've both given up. It's actually 217.4.
Yeah.
They go to the 10th of a yard.
Yeah.
They both have given up 217.4 yards per game passing. These two teams are really stinking good, and Oregon has just given up more yards on the ground. And this is where I think, though, there's something that Oregon has got back last week that they haven't had all season long. Justin Jacobs, and the matchup did not favor Washington State as much as Justin Jacobs' style of play is going to favor playing against Utah more so than a team that wants to put him in space, play sideline to sideline. He is a transfer from Iowa, where he was a dude at Iowa, and he made plays in his debut, got a sack in his debut, stretched some things out to the edge. He is going to be that downhill runner where if you need that run support in between the tackles, this is the game that Oregon wanted him back for.
Sure.
Right? They looked at it and they said, all right, we got a bunch of teams that are going to want to spread us vertically and they're going to want to throw the ball, and we can handle that, with the exception of the way Stanford came out, where they had to move some of the edge rushers back into the middle of the defense when they went to that jumbo backfield. They didn't have enough lead in their pencil in the linebacking core to handle that. With Jacobs, you do. And now you have versatility on the defense, and it's not just the speed that we've been seeing, but you have got some physicality with number 4 back there, where he plays a different kind of football, a different brand than the other linebackers do. And I think that is something that we can't quantify yet, because also it's can he stay healthy?
Yeah, sure.
But we haven't seen him with all the sum of all the parts around him. That the defensive line looks very comfortable. Those freshmen have started to grow, and they're now no longer playing like freshmen. When you talk about Mateo Uyunglele and Blake Purchase is the other one on the outside. Tuiotu, he played really stinking well, got a deflection on a third down. That was huge.
Of which the Ducks, they're not getting enough credit for that. they are being so bleeping disruptive
Yeah.
on knockdowns.
Yeah.
It does like you just see the pass deflection in the box score, but seemingly when they have needed big plays, even if they don't get home, they are getting so many timely knockdowns.
Yeah, and that's huge. I
It-
mean,
it
and they're
is.
by freshmen. Like,
Yeah.
they get them from freshmen. Obviously, Dorless
Mhm.
and Jordan Birch have been absolutely phenomenal with getting their hands up. They are a very disruptive
Yes.
bunch. Sack numbers be damned.
Yeah.
And that is. It kind of is stylistically almost a little bit like what Utah is, where
Mhm.
you go,
We're not getting there. Hands up.
it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nightmare. And I think that's why you see that. And also, I think that line being at 7, that has a lot to do with all of these games have always been tight when you go
Sure.
down to Salt Lake.
You can get Bryson Barnes.
Yeah.
It can
And
happen.
I don't know well, we always see this. It seems like every time they have a big home game, it's the Muss day, right?
Mhm.
Where that's their student section is the Muss. And this is their Muss appreciation game where they are even more loaded than they usually are. And more
And that place
loud.
is loud, man.
It is. It is. The only thing that kind of that if you're an Oregon fan, you can be like, oh, thank goodness, it's just not a night game, because night games in Rice Eccles, bad things happen at night in Rice Eccles. But this game is very similar, but also very different in that you have a top 15 matchup. You got Pac-12 conference championship game aspirations on the line. And then it's very different in that this is going to be a defensive battle. It's going to be a defensive battle, and that's what it's going to come down to.
And now the weather is showing it's getting colder and crappier.
Well, but I mean, what is it? It says 44,
44. What time's kickoff?
12:30, or
Okay.
1:30 Mountain Time.
So you're not going to get it too bad.
It's not going to be cold, and it's high of 49 today out here. So it's not like it's that much different. It's just pouring down rain.
It's just be thankful it's not a night game because it's
Yeah.
dropping into the 20s.
Yeah.
down
And
there.
the things get weird at night, and this is 44 is not warm,
No, that's a cold game.
but it fell off temperature fell off the face of the earth here too.
Yeah, they really did. Walking outside today, I was like, what is this?
I know. That sucks because I was like, this is one of the things that you do when you're getting your kids ready for school. Like if you walk outside right now, it's 48 degrees downtown Portland.
And it was pouring rain.
Yeah.
Oh, total squirrel moment.
Sure.
On
to 'em.
on the way home last night,
Yeah.
I hydroplaned for the longest stretch of my life.
That's
it was
terrifying.
down the hill, coming into Newburgh.
How does that happen?
Yeah, buddy, it was like being on a roller
Wait,
coaster.
what kind of roads do you have where do you have standing water downhill?
Yeah, no, that was the issue. It was raining so hard in Newburgh last night for God knows how long that the
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
well, you kind of get the track marks in the road
Yeah.
from driving on it.
Yeah.
The road was essentially starting to get flooded, even going downhill, and it was like 2 little water slides in those tracks. And I hit it at like 55, and I heard the woo.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not
buddy,
good.
my wife was asleep in the passenger seat next to me, and I went woo. That's what happened as I came down that road, and I hydroplaned for probably like a good 100 feet, buddy.
That's not good.
I
Go home and change those shorts.
no, I could have cut steel. That
Ooh, chocolate pudding spilled on me. We don't have any chocolate pudding, bud.
Sat on a melted baby roof.
yeah, that's my random squirrel moment talking about weather. It was
oh man,
it was a lot. But back to the
I got
Ducks.
chocolate pudding on my pants. We didn't have chocolate pudding, bud.
You also know Whittingham's gonna have something here.
Yeah.
He's always gonna have like something cooked up. He did for USC. He'll always have some little wrinkle that you're like, we're game planning. We think we've got this under control.
The one thing that you got going for you is the threat of throwing the football with Bryson Barnes. It should not scare you, but they unloaded their little tickle trunk early
Mhm.
with Sione Vaki, their safety, who they put in at running back. And look, he's going to be a difference maker. He's an athlete and he's a freak, but I wonder what his workload is going to look like.
Yeah.
You cannot. Like I
You
was
can't play
talking
in the box on both sides of the
Well,
ball
I
in
was
modern football.
talking to sports performance folks about Travis Hunter and like how hard it's going to be for him
Yeah.
to play wide receiver and corner.
On the outside.
This is safety and running back.
Yeah.
Like you can't
No.
physically, you can't do it week in and week
no,
out.
there's just too much impact.
What the snap limitations look like for him on each side of the ball are going to be very interesting. You can do it against USC because they don't hit anybody.
I got nothing.
You got nothing
I
there.
got nothing.
You got nothing. I lobbed it up and just fell right back down to the ground right there.
I'm not. I can't say anything against that.
But I really will be. His snap count is one I'm going to be very interested in.
Yeah, because it feels like they have to lean on him on both sides of the ball in this game because
absolutely.
he's so important on both sides of the ball now. For those that are unaware of why Vaki is playing running back, they've lost 3 running backs this year.
They are the Baltimore Ravens of college football.
And then some. They are on their 3rd and 4th quarterbacks, and they're on their 4th running back and their 3rd tight end.
But what do they keep doing?
Winning.
Yeah. That's the Baltimore Ravens of college
It's
football.
absolutely incredible. Like I don't think there's a team in college football, in competitive college football, that is more decimated at impact positions than Utah.
And they don't have high profile recruits to
No.
backfill them with.
No, they just have
It's
dudes
crazy.
that just keep stepping up, and you go, how?
Mm.
How are you doing this?
Good news for Oregon, though, is that all 3 guys that were of concern injury-wise back at practice. Bucky Irving, he got the wind knocked out of him in that game against Washington State.
Got stuck.
Well, you
He
land
landed on
on
the
the
ball.
football with a 275-pound human being on top of you. That's not going to feel too good.
When he did the look on his face, I was like, oh yeah, he landed on that ball.
And then you have Jordan James was back. He dinged up his arm in some capacity
How's
in
the
the Washington
secondary
State
looking?
game. Kyrie Jackson is back and at practice, so
There you go.
that's going to be huge. If you look, you need all those guys because if you can play man on the outside,
And you can commit to the run. Yeah.
bingo. And Oregon has the athletes to do it. It's all going to come down to discipline against Utah. 503-864-6326. We had the 2 most exciting words in sports last night. Game 7. It was more fun than the night before, but the Diamondbacks coming out on top. Danny Dusty on the Fan. Four to two, former Hillsboro Hop Corbin Carroll, the hero for Arizona. Now we have Arizona, Texas in the World Series matchup everybody wants to watch.
Just as everyone expected. I think odds I saw last night were 950 to 1 of a Texas Arizona World
Oh.
Series matchup to start the year.
What was it? How many?
950 to 1.
950 to 1? I don't know any moron that would have put the bet on that.
No.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did. But
Shout out the one guy who did.
this is a shout out to the Jerry DiPoto 54% of your wins over a decade, because neither one of those teams have gotten 54% of their wins over the last decade. In fact, they both lost over 100 games in 2021.
Just 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Bruce Bochy, get his bust ready for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Bruce Bochy's
My
big ass
goodness.
head needs to be in the Hall of Fame anyways. Man's got a gigantic dome, but
It's a Hall of Fame dome.
it is a Hall of Famer.
It's like an orange on a toothpick.
The heat down new.
Oh, if that's an indication, Paris
It's like
Hilton's kid's going to
Sputnik.
be destined for
Yeah,
baseball
right.
greatness.
God, that picture was something else, wasn't it? All babies have big heads. So Bruce Bochy, baby, big old baby,
Big old
head.
baby head.
Big old baby head. But last night I felt bad for Philly fans. I felt like Philly needed that game. And like not the Phillies themselves. Obviously, the Philadelphia Phillies needed to win
Sure.
Game 7. I feel like the town needed that win.
Real quick, Philadelphia. Did they win the Super Bowl?
No.
Did they win the World Series last year?
No. In fact, they got no hit in the World Series.
Okay.
last
The
year.
76ers, things going well for them?
No.
Flyers?
They're one of the worst teams in the NHL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
It's really bad. Even their MLS team lost in the championship game
what's
last
the name
year.
of the team?
The Union.
Hey, look at you. Hot
I-
soccer talk.
I soccer things hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has been sad city for the Philadelphia Phillies, because like one thing I appreciate is that how passionate they are. But here's the thing is that if you are a passionate fan base, it would almost be better if you just lost and didn't get your hopes up. There's a lot of hope that is being pushed into the city of Philadelphia from their sports, and then it's just crushingly just ripped away from them. They're the anti-Boston. You know all those little bastard kids that were walking around like, this is my 27th championship parade.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Shut up,
That's not
kid.
how this is not normal.
Yeah, I was
Also, you had a 25-year window where you didn't win anything anywhere.
my good buddy Mike Vesey from The Buzz. You know,
Indeed.
You know Mike and
Yes.
Liz in the morning on The Buzz. He's a big Patriots fan. He's from New England. I think he's Boston and Rhode Island. But Vesey and I were texting the other day where it's like, do we want the Patriots to win? And it's obviously, yes, it feels so much better to win games, right? But I told him, usually when a team says it makes you feel like a kid again,
Mhm.
it's because you feel childlike
Sure.
and excited. Right now, the Patriots make me feel like a kid again because they sucked when I was a kid.
Indeed.
Like they were outside of 1996, like they were terrible when I was a kid. And so now I feel like a kid again watching the Patriots because
we
it's
used
like,
to laugh.
hey, this is what it's like to trip and fall on your face every single week.
The Patriots were the Bears now.
Yeah. And so Philly, what I'm saying is that your time is coming. Like there will be a time where you get over the hump and all of this defeat and just absolute misery that you're in, you're gonna win.
Finishing
Just
second
ask
best.
Bills fans.
Yeah, it always comes around for Buffalo.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel worse for Philly than Buffalo.
No.
Yeah,
No.
because it's every sport. They get no joy in anything.
You seen the Sabres lately?
But it's Buffalo. You go inside and hibernate during the winter, and you come back in the
And you watch the Sabres.
and then you watch
lose.
no, you watch the Bills, and you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Buffalo went to 4 straight Super Bowls and got kicked in the junk.
God.
Yeah,
Imagine if those were your formative years.
yeah, it numbs you.
I mean,
That really
that
numbs you.
changes a man,
Yeah,
right? Like
Yeah.
that's why you jump through tables.
you learn to have trust issues, big time trust.
No, you
issues.
jump through tables.
Yeah.
That's where that's
and get sprayed with ketchup and mustard.
yeah, that's where this comes from.
That's what you do.
You're just like, I feel
Damn.
nothing.
But Philly fans, I am feeling for you, even though most of you are kind of despicable. You know,
You know,
threw batteries and ice balls at Santa Claus.
I've said this before.
Yeah,
I went through this the other night. I think it was after Game 6. I was like, I hate pretty much every Northeastern team,
Oh,
but
right.
I have a soft spot for Philly.
okay.
I like their brand of evil. It's my jam. But look,
Their kind of evil is the kind that I enjoy.
yeah, it
serial killer.
is. Yeah, it's my jam. Like it is. Like
Who does number 2 work for?
You tell that turd who's boss.
yeah, there's just something there where I'm just like, I listen to Yankee fan, complain about this, that, and the other. I'm like, go to hell.
Oh,
Like,
Yankee
Red
fans,
Sox
come
fan, oh God, go to hell. It just
My problem with Yankee fans is that they will complain, but then they'll be like 27. And
Yeah.
You're like, no,
Yes.
you
No,
can't.
pick a lane.
Yeah, you can't do both.
Pick a lane, dude.
You can't do both.
But that's the thing. Like, is you get that, and you get like Knicks fans, like Knicks for clicks. That's all anybody cares about. It's
Yeah.
like, no, your team sucks,
Yeah,
and it has
they
sucked
do
for
suck.
20 years. Just Philly fan, they know who they are.
Yeah.
They know who they are, and the second they suck, nobody hates their team more than they do.
That's right.
And there's just something about that I love.
You love that.
I do.
Well, you may have caught this in the clubhouse after the Diamondbacks won the National League Championship Series. When I first saw that, I was like, oh, they're bringing out the 2020? They got Orange Jubilee?
They're going sideways.
They're bringing out the Orange Jubilee?
Oh, banana red.
I was like, that team is winning the World Series, and they are winning in a
My
sweep.
money, take it now.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks are it. Turns out that wasn't true. That's not why they were cheering Mad Dog, Mad Dog. This is why they were chanting Mad Dog, and this comes to us courtesy of MLB Network's High Heat.
To make a long story short, I've been wrong in Arizona from day one. I'm stunned they beat Milwaukee. I thought they'd get swept by the Dodgers. I never thought they'd even go back to Philly for a Game 6. I'll try it one more time. I would not be stunned if they won tonight. I would be floored. And I'll say this right now, and Bob Raceman, write it down. If they win the next 2 days, they win the next 2 games, and win this series in 7 games, if they win, I will retire on the spot.
Now, that is accurate, but that's radio. That's not TV. That is radio. I said
So
that
I'm
on
not
the
gonna take
radio
over?
show. No, well, you might, who knows? But that is radio that I said that. So if the Phillies, I mean, I'm amazed this has got this much publicity. Who cares what I do? But the bottom line
Anybody
is,
says
I
that they're
would
going to
be-
retire on the spot after your type of career, and now people are going to hold you
Bingo.
to it. So if the Phillies lose tonight, bye-bye, Sirius
I'm
XM.
out. I'm out. I've informed my bosses, and the contract's up anyway. What difference does it make? So see you later. That gives the Diamondbacks more. All the Diamondbacks who can't stand me, now you got a Dexter incentive. You get me off for the rest of your life.
You might want to finish that sentence. Did you see the picture of him at ESPN this morning behind the camera? Like he was like running the camera. It's kind of a joke. I was like, that's pretty good.
That is solid. Yeah, he's not giving up that first take money
I'm telling you right
or
now,
the High Heat money.
that TV money is
Yeah.
so much better. than
He's
radio.
not. He is not going to give that up. Like that. When he said that, I was like, "Oh, Mad Dog." But then he pulls a, why do people care so much what I think? And she nailed it on there. She's like, "Dude, look at your career, man.
Yeah,
You're a legend."
You've been around for like what, 35 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been
It's a long New York yelling career.
exactly. And now he yells on TV. You're not going to give up that TV money.
TV money's so good.
Yeah.
Oh god, that and he gets up right in like up face to face with the camera lens lately too on that old what is it, First Take, and it's just I feel bad for the poor camera operator behind him who's just getting a shower.
Well, you know what I applaud him for?
Mm.
I applaud him for just owning it and being like, I'm not actually retiring. Come on. He found his loophole.
Yeah.
And it was that was on radio and his contract's up anyways. He's
I have a
just
really
gonna
suspicion that he's just
back out.
tired of working both TV and radio, and he was going to get out of radio anyways. Shocking.
And that was his way out. So he's gonna spin this back.
He's secretly a Diamondbacks
He
fan.
always believed in the Diamondbacks. He was so right on them. He's gonna stick with it. All right. Well, hey, Diamondbacks Rangers World Series. I'm excited. I'm actually excited for this series. I think it'll be a fun series. Starts Friday.
I mean, the baseball part of the series is going to be great. And
The
everybody in New
storylines are
York
terrible.
is so mad.
Yeah, well,
So mad.
You know what? They're going to be mad anyways because the Yankees aren't in it.
Yeah.
And so they're like, why do people listen to them?
No,
Like, don't listen to them. Enjoy the actual baseball because
Mhm.
it's going to be magnificent.
I don't know if you've watched
Garcia-
either of these teams this postseason. They've both been really good.
Yeah, young stars like Garcia. You got Corbin Carroll. Like I'm really excited. I think it'll be a fun series. I think it'll be a good series.
Yes,
too.
I do too.
One thing I want to talk about before we go on this, it's my only baseball note that I have. If you watched the game last night, you saw Trey Turner's catch for the Phillies at shortstop. Absolutely insane what he did. He was at shortstop, a blooper going in the gap in between left field and center field, and he did over-the-shoulder basket catch up against his body, running towards the outfield. It was an amazing catch that Trey Turner had and so hard to track. So congratulations. You have that to take you all the way to spring training.
There you go.
We'll hear from Philly fans a little bit later.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a great one.
Coming up to start hour number 2, we head back to the NBA. Blazers get the season underway tonight, but the NBA season got going last night, and we are finally seeing a change in NBA. This is going to be historic change in the NBA. Danny and Dusty on the Fan. You can do that from work, home, school, car, wherever you're at. Find us on YouTube now. Like and subscribe to the YouTube. You can also text us at the Vancouver Ford text line, which is 503-864-6326, and find all the shows on the Service Patriots podcast. Service Patriots is your home comfort solution for all your heating and air conditioning needs. Check out the latest special offers for our listeners at servicepatriots.com/1080thefan. Blazers get it going tonight. They are in LA as 9-point underdogs to the Clippers. I think this game is the things I'm interested in really looking for the Blazers is what do the pace, style of play, and rotations look like early in the season. We got a feeling of it in the preseason, but you never really know until games actually matter.
For sure.
What that's going to look like. And I think like it is with expectations so low.
It's a blank canvas.
With this team, it's less about like the matchups on any given night and more of a what is the growth going to look like? And right now, this is where we get our baseline test for it.
Yeah, it does sound like Chauncey's going to roll with 9 tonight. The question was whether it was going to be 9 or 10. The two guys I think that you're looking at are Jabari Walker and Toumani Camara. If I was going to lean a certain way, I would go Jabari Walker because he's in-house and has the experience and he's earned it.
Boy, Kamara is a name, though, that keeps popping up. You keep hearing it.
Yeah, I would imagine that at some point in time, either Chauncey's going to go to 10 or someone's going to lose some minutes somewhere. Does that necessarily mean it's Jabari? No. Could it be Matisse? And maybe Kamara ends up getting the Terry Stotts memorial treatment of Noah Vonleh, who would start for 6 minutes and then come out for the first half, and then he would start the second half, play 6 minutes, and he would get 12 minutes a game.
Oh, there you go.
There are ways you can work in guys and control their minutes and kind of figure some stuff out. But yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be about any opponents this year. Genuinely, like they're going to prep and they're going to have their film and they're going to have their tendencies. Sure. They're going to do all that still. But it's not us versus them. It's us versus us in that locker room. And that's how do you develop? How do you grow? Are you making the same mistakes? Are you learning? Are the adjustments coming? Is the development there? The things you're working on in practice, are they translating to the games? Building habits, building a new culture. Like there's so much that has to be done that it's going to be really interesting to see how that looks.
More so than even like what Scoot Henderson looks like. The two things that are in the front of even Scoot is what does Anthony Simons look like as the primary scorer, the guy in the focal point offensively?
Can he be the offensive? Can he be the driving force?
He's never played on a team where he has not had the safety blanket of whether it was Dame or CJ or
they did
whomever
in the surgery year for Dame where he got it for 3 months and he was spectacular. He was 25-7.
In that though, this is a different look too because number 2 is what does DeAndre Ayton look like?
Yep.
And how are they going to use him when your primary scorer is not going to be bringing the ball up the floor? And one thing that DeAndre Ayton is the pick and roll, and how does that look with where are they initiating the offense at with DeAndre Ayton and his comfort level there? Because I think with eventually Scoot and Ayton in the pick and roll is going to be electric, and that has incredible potential. But then you have Scoot Henderson as number 3 to me, and what this team looks like. I have zero, like, is it weird that I'm going to go into this and like probably for like first 10 games of the season, not even like watching what they're doing defensively because of the work in progress that it's going to be. It's going to be such a work in progress.
Yeah, they're going to be bottom 5 in both offense and defense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's just going to, like, people are like, oh my God, that Chauncey's a terrible coach. No, look, I don't know where Chauncey sits in this. I don't. But we're going to get a better understanding this year because it's not going to be, well, let's try this. Let's try this. Now this is the path that we're taking.
Yes.
And if you don't see growth, if you don't see culture taking hold, if you don't see development, then I think you can start making, some decisions around Chauncey Billups. But from a night in, night out basis, I think those are the kind of things you're looking for. Like, can Ant be the engine? Can DeAndre Ayton recoup his value and be a guy who's like, if you're going through the pecking order of, because you got to remember, you're losing 30 points a night.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot of shots. And it's not like, oh, Ant's going to take over that load. No, it's going to be spread around. But if I had to guess how things were going to go in total shots a night, Ant is going to lead them. Jeremy Grant is going to finish second. DeAndre Ayton is going to be right behind Jeremy, or slightly above Jeremy. I think that's the one where I'm interested to see how that sorts itself out. Then you can probably look at Malcolm.
Yeah.
Then Shaden, then Scoot. That's probably your distribution of shots. Scoot's probably fifth on that pecking order because as a scorer, he does not have the bona fides of anyone in front of him.
Inevitably, that is going to lead to Blazer fans getting very upset about the way that Chauncey Billups is using Scoot Henderson. This is going to be a snowball effect, and fans need to get ready for this in that he's not a scorer. You didn't draft him as one. They didn't think he was a scorer ready to go anyways.
No.
And they're going to be, the pitchforks are going to come out that Chauncey isn't using Scoot the right way because, one, he's not ready.
Yeah.
But two, they're going to be losing games.
Yes.
And they're going to say, well, they would have won if you would have used him right. No. He's not ready. They know that.
Yeah.
They know.
They're
Brandon
already
Miller,
tamping down expectations.
Brandon Miller went number 2, right? Because he was a wing 1 and 2. He was seen as more NBA ready.
And he's coming off the bench.
Yeah, and he was seen as more NBA ready. Like this is where we're at, folks. So I think getting those things out of the way on the surface before game 1 even tips off. So you can just go back to the Service Patriots podcast and we'll say, look at the 1:00 hour on Wednesday, October 25th. And that's where you can see we started this before the first game even tipped off.
Okay, real quick. Here's your top 10 draft picks.
Yeah.
Wembanyama starting. Miller off the bench. Scoot starting. Amen Thompson off the bench. Asar probably going to start. So there's your 3 so far. 3 of the top 5 are starting. Anthony Black off the bench. Koulibaly, I'll believe it that they're going to start him when I see it. Jarris Walker off the bench. Taylor Hendricks not even going to play for the Jazz this year. I mean, the minutes he's getting is next to none. Cason Wallace, I'll be surprised if he plays much. Jet Howard, I'll be surprised if he plays much. Derek Lively is going to start for the Mavericks at center, which is going to be interesting.
By necessity, right?
Yes, because JaVale McGee is not a playable basketball player.
That's right.
Like that's the reason behind that. Grady Dick will play. Jordan Hawkins, he looks like he's going to get some time with the Pelicans. They're injured, so he'll probably get some more. But that's of your 14, you have 3 players starting. 1 out of necessity. 1 with the Pistons wanting to invest in Asar. I don't think it makes a ton of sense because they don't have enough shooting. But Bogdanovich is hurt, so they can go down that route. And Scoot. Like outside of Wemby, those are your starting guys in the lottery. So this whole idea of like, why would you draft a lottery player and not start them? Hell, the Blazers did it with Shaden Sharp. So this whole idea of like Scoot needs to get so many minutes in so many situations. It's like, if he's not ready, you cannot force feed it. They tried.
Well, you shouldn't.
Well, no, I mean, you can't. What'll end up happening is that locker room will go to Chauncey and go, whoa, what about my minutes?
Yeah.
I'm a professional.
What about me?
And that you will have issues. And everybody can say as much as they want that they should go do X and Y and everybody's just fall in line. Go ahead and tell the guy making $20 million a year to fall in line. Good luck. Good luck.
That's silly, but it's true. I mean, it is silly because like some guys, they make $20 million a year, but it's like, still not as good, but it's the pecking order.
It's the pecking order. That's the reality of this stuff. Yeah. So it's everybody's just got to kind of fall in line. Everybody's got to respect that. And nobody, and Scoot will know this. Scoot knows none of this stuff is going to be handed to him. Yeah. He knows he's not going to be the guy that's going to get all the shots night in, night out. He's going to have to earn that because if he's going to be the leader of this team, he's got to show that he's good enough to be the leader of this team, not just self-anointed.
All right, Blazers, they tip it off tonight, 7 o'clock in beautiful Los Angeles, California, taking on the Clippers to start this season. All right, it is a 7:30 kick. Rod Gilmore is going to be on the call. And it's in a house of horrors for ranked teams at night. Beavs head down to Tucson. We'll take an early peek at that game next. Danny Dusty on the Fan. They have played 3 really tight games and gone 2-1 or 1-2 in them. Coming out of a bye now, they lost by 7 to Washington, 31-24. Lost by 2 at USC, 43-41.
Should have gone for 2.
And then won at Washington State, 44-6, where they scored 44 unanswered points.
It's a pretty good response to an
Cougs.
opening touchdown.
They are playing defense a hell of a lot differently now, and they're running the ball very effectively. And this is one of those things where you say, all right, how often do we say styles make fights, right? Styles make fights. We say that all the time. And right now, this Arizona team, they're going to be at home. It's going to be a raucous environment. They're 14th in the country in rush defense. They only give up 96 yards per game on the ground. One of only 17 teams nationally that are giving up fewer than 100 yards per game on the ground.
Pretty good.
It is pretty damn good, especially for a team that they're not littered with, 5-star guys. They got a lot of transfer portal guys. Some of the 5 stars that they got are guys like Justin Flo, who's a transfer from Oregon, where he was a square peg in a round hole in Dan Lanning's defense, and he's gotten a fresh start, and he's playing a heck of a lot better. They've done very well in the portal. They've done very well in talent evaluation. They are getting into homes that they didn't before, and they're plucking out guys like Tetraroa McMillan, but they're also going and recruiting a 5'9" quarterback in Noah Fafita out of Servite High School as McMillan's quarterback. And they're saying, hey, we're going to let this kid guide us, man. He's going to play. He doesn't have the tangibles, but what he has are the intangibles that make him a really damn good quarterback, and they're competitive in every game that they're in.
Yeah, I mean, look, they had Delora, who was playing well when he went down, and now
you got to take care of the ball, though. And that was his thing.
Yeah, and Fafita has come out there and been not just like replacement level. He's been good. He's been really good. And you look at that and you go, okay, well, maybe they found one, whatever. And then you just kind of look it down the line, and Coleman running the hell out of the ball. Yeah. Obviously, McMillan is an McMillan's an NFL guy. Like there's no question about that. He's so bleeping big.
Yeah.
Once he just kind of gets a few things under control, maybe it takes him a little while, like a Keon Coleman, to kind of refine some stuff. But his physical tools are so otherworldly that it's like he'll be playing on Sundays. He'll figure that out.
With this game, I'm really interested in what it looks like going on the road too. Night game, night environment.
Where it gets so
Arizona.
sideways.
And it's going to get weird. It will get weird. And I say this all the time, but it is very hard to win on the road. And the Oregon State Beavers got to take this trip. Look, they've played in 3 road games this year. One against San Jose State, which is an inferior opponent. Their lone loss on the season and in conference play was at Washington State. We saw what Arizona was able to do at Washington State against the same Cougs, right? And they went to Cal, where they took care of their business against the Golden Bears, and not a great football team. But when they did it, they gave up 40 points to Cal. Like
that game got drunk real fast.
Like you give up 40 points
to that offense.
So against like conference opponents on the road, albeit it's a small sample size, they've given up 78 points in 2 games. And that is a cause for concern, especially when you're going up against a defense that has vastly improved. What's kind of crazy about this game when I was looking at it, you know what this win means for Jonathan Smith? What would you guess Jonathan Smith's career coaching record is at Oregon State?
This is year 5?
Year 6. This is his 6th season at Oregon State.
So they've had a 10-win season before that.
I will tell you, he has coached in 64 games as the head coach at Oregon State.
32-32?
I was going to say, is this his chance to go over 500?
This is the first opportunity that he'll have to go over 500 in his entire head coaching career.
That tracks.
I mean, he is in year 6, and this is where
he started from the bottom.
How you develop and how you grow as a head coach. Like, this is something that every fan base should take note of, is head coaches, whether you have a cupboard that is empty, like what he got when he went to Oregon State, or you got a cupboard that's pretty full, like what Dan Lanning got when he was given the keys to the Oregon program. you will see growth as a coach. And when you stop seeing the growth as a coach is when you can really start calling out, that head man. And Jonathan Smith, he went through some lumps.
Yeah.
His first 3 seasons, he was 9-22.
And the thing is about that is I don't think a single person complained because you saw real growth every single year, and everybody knew the first 2 years were going to be like that.
Yeah.
They knew they were going to get their teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
Because of how bare things were. But nobody panicked. Nobody called for a job. Nobody said he's not doing what he's supposed to do. They knew. They knew what he was in for, and he delivered.
He went 9-22 in his first 3 seasons. Since then, he is 23-10. It's been really damn impressive to see what Jonathan Smith has done. And that's what a win means for Oregon State if they go down to Tucson and they pull this one out. It's not going to be easy, though, because this Arizona team is really damn
And they're,
good.
16-3 since last year?
No, they are 16-4. 16-4 since last season.
So, yeah, once he's gotten rolling,
Mm-hmm.
pretty good.
Yeah. Unbelievable. That's pretty crazy to think about where this Oregon State program has gone. And
Strangely enough, does the heat get to the Beavers? Because it's going to be like 75 degrees at night. It's like a 40.
is it really going to be that warm down there at kickoff?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, but it just will get weird, man. It gets super
It's something
weird.
in the air. It's called warmth.
And they have it's a weird stadium.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know.
super lit. Like, and I don't mean like party wise. I mean that happens, but
No,
like,
it is super lit there
it's
too.
bright. That I swear, I've been down there twice. There's something that happens with those lights that like they're all like LED. It's like the new cars.
Yeah.
Like when they get behind
It
you.
is a different kind of light.
It's
You're
something
right
that's
about you're one. Yeah, in there the
It's a-
lights are closer to the field than most other
and it's
stadiums.
a white light that's like it's
I'm with you on that.
super overwhelming.
But the stadium is just like you look around, you're like, oh, weird.
No, it is. It's
It's
Arizona.
the stadium from Revenge of the Nerds. You see like Gronk's name and Teddy Bruschi's name up on the
Yeah.
Ring of Honor.
They've got
Pretty
some good.
crazy.
They've got some good names in there.
They got some sneaky great names.
They've got some
that
sneaky
have played there.
names up there.
Yeah.
All right. You know what else?
Including Cactus Jack. Like they had a guy who's like, oh man, the Cactus Comet, I think was his nickname. It's a badass nickname.
That's a badass nickname.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Be honest. Well, Cactus Cooler is a good name too.
Cactus Cooler?
Yeah. The
Wow.
drink? You never had a Cactus Cooler?
I've never heard of that before. What is that?
Oh, it's a California drink.
No.
Never had a Cactus Cooler is a great drink.
Never.
Rust? Nothing?
Never have.
Do they come in like the old glass bottles, like a Sobe bottle?
Yeah, hold on.
Then I know. what
Oh,
I'm-
like a soda. Oh, okay. I was thinking like a cocktail. But
yeah,
no,
the
yeah, like
Rust-
the soda bottle. Yeah.
You ever had a Cactus Cooler?
Never.
Orange Pineapple Blast?
Nope, never seen that before.
Screw
in my
this.
life.
I'm on Amazon right now. I'm ordering. some.
Orange
I've seen it in
pineapple blast.
I feel like
huh?
I've seen it in glass bottles.
It's
But
usually
this is the first I've seen
it's
it.
a can that kind of looks like an Acme cartoon.
Yeah.
Huh.
It kind of looks like a Roadrunner cartoon.
Tickle me intrigued.
I'm on Amazon right now.
Pineapple orange, huh?
Yeah, I'm buying some so you guys can try it.
I have never seen this before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cactus Cooler is delicious.
Hmm.
It's worth
Alright.
worth the sugar
I'm
investment.
in.
It's probably no cheer wine, but
Well, speaking of cool names, Philadelphia Philly fans have a lot of cool names that they call their
Toilet wine?
team. Wow.
what?
Straight.
What do you got against cheer wine? It's
straight
delightful.
out of the joint. Love it. The joint, also a name for Philadelphia. Our worst day on the web, Philadelphia Philly fans. Don't ever change. But first, here's the Big Kahuna Sports Center update.
That's that Hawaiian burger joint.
Now, from the Spirit Mountain Casino It's time for today's worst day on the web. With Danny and Dusty on Odyssey and 1080 The Fan.
Well, that sucks.
This is what you watch YouTube for, because you can watch us be degenerate gamblers during the break. That's how this works.
What happens.
Dusty's over here like, hey, I think I got a boost here. You know, you could use a little boost.
What do we got?
Philadelphia Philly fans.
Buddy.
You know, look, man on the street interviews.
It's not just that you forced Mad Dog into retirement.
Mm.
You lost the NLCS.
Yeah.
It's just sadness.
Well,
sadness.
I mean, forcing Mad Dog into retirement shouldn't cause anybody too much sadness, right?
Yeah, that's
You
actually true.
But man on the street interviews, more often than not, hot take, they suck.
Oh, okay.
More often than not, they do.
All right.
But when they're good,
they're really good.
Boy, are they good.
Yeah, this is from Buster Delphia, which is an interesting social media name.
Big Buster only fan.
Buster Delphia.
But he grabbed a microphone and went out to the streets following the Philadelphia Phillies Game 7 defeat.
Let's see what people got to say. We had home field for 2 games. 2 games. And you let them come here and beat us?
Phillies need to sell Trey Turner. That guy's a fucking idiot. We went farther without that guy.
Kid's 12.
The Phillies, honestly.
Trade the whole fucking team. This team fucking blew today.
I want to say that I'm fucking depressed. I had to ask 9 people for this fucking cigarette.
Philly fans, we always stink.
Disappointment.
Oh, man, that was just straight garbage.
This sucks.
I hope they never fucking play a baseball game again.
Swing. Fire Topper. Topper. What's up, man?
Feeling like I want to go lay in traffic.
All them bitch-ass motherfuckers I couldn't get a hit when we motherfucking needed it.
I love how we spent $700 million for guys to go 0 for 12 combined. Let's go Jets.
It's a good point. I'm feeling good because, we still got the Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Hit the fucking ball, man. Come on, really? Hit the fucking ball.
Overpaid.
Fuck that.
Hey, wait, where'd you get this banana?
From a homeless guy.
Hey, how do we feel about Dancing on My Own as a song moving forward?
You gotta cut it.
Time to retire it. Find something new.
Still fires up the crowd.
Well, I'm pretty sure it didn't work this year, so it's got to go.
Move fucking on. I'm crying instead of dancing.
I get shitty ass song. They need to ditch that shit.
I don't want to hear that song ever again.
How about you shut up?
I want to know. We need to do some. We need some the fan research team
This
to
is so solid.
to take a
How
look
about
at
you
that.
shut up?
How about you shut up? We definitely need a crack research team to take a look and see if more words were bleeped or spoken.
Ooh.
Because I bet you it's
I think more words were bleeped.
yeah.
And the amount of 12-year-old, like the 12-year-old who just was dropping F-bombs and
Mhm.
parents are beside him like, yeah, that's Philly.
Mhm.
You got the
Not a-
guy who stole a
Didn't bat an
banana.
eye.
Stole a banana from a homeless guy.
Look, man, dog eat dog world out here.
Was that inside the stadium or outside the stadium?
Yes.
We're still not sure where that was. That is the most Philly thing you could possibly get. And this is like when the SEC says it just means more, they get people that are truly dejected and
Yes.
their lives get ruined, wins and loss wise. The fact of the matter is, like, if you go to a game here, you would get some upset fans, but it's more reasonable people than not. That is Philly just in a nutshell.
Yeah, and that could be Game 7 of the
Yeah.
World Series, or it could be Game 7 of the regular season.
They're just that's how they roll.
Yeah, that they're always on 11
into eternity.
Yeah.
And God bless them for that.
No, that's what I mean. Like, nobody hates their team more than they do.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just sitting
Are they
along
the
smiling.
Best, or like, is that good, being a good fan or a bad fan?
I think it's good fans.
You think it's good fans
Yeah.
to say, I hope they never play baseball again when they go to the World Series
Mhm.
and then they're, 2 runs away from back-to-back World Series appearances?
Mhm. Was it
That's good fans?
Bryce Harper says he listened to what's the radio station there?
WIP.
WIP.
Our sister station.
Yeah, he listens to the WIP going into the ballpark every day, and he loves them.
Huh. Well, yeah, but okay, but that doesn't. That doesn't explain whether they're good or bad fans.
I think they're great fans.
I think that's a bad fan move to be like all.
That guy is going to be there on opening day.
Well, yeah, he's going to be there on opening day.
He's just going through it right now.
He will be.
He's just going through it right now. Did you hear what Michael Pittman Jr. did
Uh-uh.
for the Colts?
No.
He said following his their loss that I guess, well, you know what?
It's a heartbreaker.
He said, I guess I'm just not a big a part of the offense as I thought I was. He was very salty about losing the game.
He should get dragged for that.
Well, so he came out today or last night, this morning. I can't remember. I just remember reading it this morning. He was like, "Look, man, I'm a really crappy loser.
Yeah,
like It's like I've struggled with my whole life. I lead the team in touches. Like I get it.
Yeah.
I was just pissed in the moment. But I think that's like,
I understand that.
But that's Philly fan. Like
it's like a whole city of it. Like, what are Little League games like there?
Do you think the umpire shortage is just a thing in Oregon?
No, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I bet those like when does that start? When do you start being
From
that
the
dejected
womb.
kid?
The womb.
You do.
Yeah, no, they hear it
Golly.
in the womb from the parents.
But yeah.
And it's like absorbed.
Is that what it's like at Little League games there? Just like the kids are like, no, I'm never playing again. No. Oh, the coach is a bum.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what ends up happening is like if
That
a coach
cracks me
actually
up.
is a bum, then it's like it becomes a problem. You gotta get the strong-willed coach out there.
That's why you get like the Always Sunny crew coaching games then.
Yes, who are like yelling at little kids. They toughen them up. Look, man, have we had a soft player come out of Philly?
No.
Like across any sport, has anyone like that guy's from Philly? Yeah, he's soft.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
trying to
it's
think.
kind of a joke, but it's also there's some seriousness to it.
There is, but there's also like for as big of a city as Philadelphia is, I feel like there's a lack of really good athletes that are like who are the guys
It's
that
like
were
New York City.
born in Philly?
It's the same way.
that are really good athletes. Yeah, because you know what? They're too busy finger pointing to actually own their craft.
You saved that one. I know what you're gonna go. They were finger what? I was scared.
Huh. Yeah. This texter on the Vancouver Ford text line says, I wish more Blazer fans are like that.
100%. I have said this over the years. I think Blazers fans are fun and nice and everything, and I will get in trouble for saying this, but I think you suck for the most part. I think you care, but you don't really care.
Yeah, these people are delusional though.
It's true that they have a sunnier, rosier, optimistic outlook of probably any major fan base that I've ever been a part of.
Philly fan is the complete opposite
Yes.
of Blazer fan. And I think
Everything
that
is awful always.
yes, and I think that there's an element to the fan base in Portland that you're talking about where it's not good either.
No,
you are passionate and you'll show up every year, but there's a like this inflated sense of value. It's little man syndrome.
Yeah.
Like the Portland Trailblazers are like the jacked up truck of the NBA.
The truck nuts of
Yeah.
the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah. We need like we need this like it's not just your running boards pop down. It's like you got to get a stool to get into your truck.
And it's got the Ugo horn attached to it.
That's right.
The
And
Oregonian sticker in the back window.
you're sitting there and we are compensating for something that I don't know why we're thinking that it's this great, but it's not. And it's like, we're just sitting there like, no. The roster's fine. It's how you use it.
Yeah. That's the thing is, it's coach. It's coach's problem. It's always the coach's problem here. Doesn't matter who the coach is.
The backcourt is plenty big. It's not how big they are. It's how you use them, Terry. That's the Blazers. Meanwhile, Philly is rolling in a El Camino, and it may be rusted out in the back, and they're ripping cigs, and they hate their life. But you know what? They're actually living a pretty good life that they got going on right now, and they're just miserable with it.
They love the misery.
Yeah, like
There's
they
something
drive
to it.
They drive their El Camino to like a 4-bed, 3-bath house, and they're like, life sucks. It's like, no, it's not that bad, man.
No, but
like your car may be rusted out, but you're not paying anything, brother.
No,
like,
and
your life is good.
And that's the thing is like I think there's that pessimism that lives in it, but when it isn't,
Yeah.
the way they celebrate. Think about the Super Bowl. What happened in that city?
When they won,
Yeah.
they greased up the polls.
Because
they greased up the polls.
because they know. They know that place is going to tear itself apart with joy.
Yeah.
And there's just something about that. There's always some sort of accountability, whether positively or negatively. They never don't use their power. It's not always used for good, but they always use their power.
Greasing the polls.
It's rarely used. Art Alakakis. It's rarely used for good.
Rarely used. Can I close this one now?
Mhm.
You got this?
Oh, yeah. I got my bet in.
I've got a parlay up on the screen so we can copy it. All right.
It's a good bet.
Honestly, it's an alternate point spread bet. I really like it. I was like, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I might have to tell you on that one.
Well, hells yeah, we're going to do it.
Wait till we get to the break so I can do it. Coming up next, a football coach turns the tables. Tables have turns.
Oh.
Danny and Dusty, Danny the Fan. The opportunity strikes.
Yeah.
When you put him up against the ropes, you got to go for it.
There you go.
And you got to go for it. Marcus Freeman, head coach of Notre Dame, had that opportunity.
My turn? Yep. Okay. Two things, right? Second, third grade championship game. Okay, 2 trips to the red zone, 0 points. 1 play was a reverse pass that was intercepted in the red zone. You were the offense coordinator on that?
On that,
Thoughts on the red zone play calling? What's your thoughts on those red zone play calling?
You know, they were attacking the run so much with Nico and Nolan, I thought we could drop one over their head, but maybe the elements, the mud, the game wasn't great for them. So
it's good. That's good.
Basics probably is the way to go there.
Last question. There was a Nico Freeman in that same game that had a long run that was negated by only having 1 flag on. Whose responsibility is to make sure the young man has 2 flags on?
I think it would be the guy in the huddle, which could be me, but you might be able to blame Coach Stanley on the sideline.
You're passing blame. Come on, Tim. You got to own it now.
I noticed you didn't ask about the 4th and 5th grade thrilling championship games.
Yeah, I did. I was going to finish with congratulations on your 2 championship wins yesterday. And, you know, head coaches get the credit sometimes when they deserve and don't deserve, but congrats on 2 wins. It was good.
D- in the first game, and I think an A in the second.
But you
game,
won.
so yes,
You found a
right.
way to win. That's important, man. So appreciate that. That was a lot of fun yesterday.
Dude, how about that? The reporter is the coach of his kids' flag football teams, and Marcus Freeman's like, you're not going to get away with this.
My turn?
You're in a damn reverse pass on the goal line? What are we thinking?
What's better? That he had the fun with this, or that he had very succinct points that he was going to make about exact play calls in situations.
He was taking notes.
Oh, during the game, he's like, this mother, you know? Like,
how dare he question me?
Oh, you want to go back to USC last year? Let's go, buddy. And apparently, like, that guy is he's a writer for one of the fan sites. And could you imagine, like, you get your flag football roster and you're like, uh-oh. You're probably like on one end, you're excited. It's South Bend. It's a small community.
And you
know?
see Freeman.
Yeah.
No, don't like that.
Yeah.
And you probably put it out of your head.
Common name.
Yeah, that could be anybody.
Yeah.
And then you see Marcus Freeman show up to pick him up at practice, and you went, crap.
Yeah, this is like Matt Preem going to the flag football and seeing like Titan landing on his roster. He's like, well, this should be fun. That'd be fun, man. That'd be really fun to be like, all right.
I would love to see Dan just hike up the pants and walk up to that one and go, so.
I think he'd do it too. I think he'd do it too. I think the defensive coordinator guys, they're going to be the ones to be like, all right, hey, let's talk about that offense there, bud.
Play calling, huh? Oh, you're going to pass
in the red zone.
Going to pass that buck off, huh? Passing it off to the other coaches, not taking responsibility?
That's funny though.
Oh,
Man,
that's great.
That is. I'm glad that it makes me like Marcus Freeman a little bit more. That
I can't like him too much because it's Notre Dame, but
you'll find a way to hate him.
Look, I mean, that's not hard.
You have a lot of hate in your heart.
I do, but also, everybody that I've talked to around the game that has met him, been around him, says he's one of the most prepared, professional, good dudes in the sport.
Yep.
And you can just kind of see it there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, today people are not saying the same thing about Ryan Day.
Yeah, wait, what's wrong with Ryan Day?
Nothing wrong with Ryan Day, but everybody in Michigan is seemingly pointing the finger at him and Schiano as the culprits for the Michigan manifesto.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Do they really care? Like, look, this thing was coming out regardless.
Oh yeah, no, I just think I think they just want to make fun of Ryan Day because
he can't beat Michigan, so you turn him in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I get that.
A to B is tracking pretty well.
I wonder who the actual how did Ryan Day catch wind of this? Because this is a scheme that is very hard to catch.
Yeah, nobody knew that this guy was in the stadium unprompted and was like, "Oh, let me sort through the 100,000 people in this crowd and find this one guy."
You know who it is. It's Josh Gaddis. I mean, that's who the guy that everybody needs to be looking at in all of this.
Because he had this psycho next to him and went, I need to get rid of this guy.
Okay. You know where Josh Gaddis coaches now? Maryland.
Oh, you're kidding.
No. He coaches at Maryland.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Gaddis was the OC at
100%.
Michigan. Then he went down to Miami. He was with Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, I thought he was down in Miami.
Yeah. So everybody's like, Ryan Day. Like this SI article, it mentions Josh Gaddis as That's how Connor Stallions got his foot in the door, was with Josh Gaddis telling him what plays were going to be run. And Josh Gaddis is now, I mean, I think that's right? Yeah. Gaddis, University of Maryland. He's the OC at Maryland.
Yeah, that's 100% where that's coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So everybody's like, oh, we're going to point at Schiano and Day.
Well, it's more fun that way.
Let's point at the guy that is sitting there going.
There's literally a part of it.
Who is looking at it going, okay, we've got Michigan on November 18th. It's about a month out. When would Connor Stallions start poking around our program?
Probably now.
Probably close to now. So, hey, tweet. You're going to blow the whistle on it.
Just goes up to the head coach. Hey, by the way, I had a guy, complete lunatic, has a manifesto, probably has me on a list to kill him. But they're probably scouting us right now in ways that we're not prepared for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy line to draw.
See? I did so Ryan Day is going to be catching these strays, which I understand just based on the way that Ryan Day responded to the Lou Holtz non-criticism of him.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like he came off as very sensitive in that moment.
Came off.
And so I think that if we're going these Cincy Olympics, I think he's sticking the landing.
Oh, God. Mary Lou Retton.
Easy target. Yeah. It's a rival.
100%.
And all that. And then Schiano because of what he said.
Mm-hmm.
But this just tells me that everybody kind of knew. Because there is a lot of turnover in Jim Harbaugh's staff because, I don't know, he's really hard to work for.
Yeah. That's I mean, that, again, dots are lining up quite simply here.
It could be one of, I don't know, a billion people.
Yeah, they weren't exactly running like a state secret nuclear program.
No, which also goes back to, I said this at the beginning and I believe it still, Jim Harbaugh is going to have, there's going to be some deniability that he has in this.
Yeah, there's a level of crazy here that he's like, look, man, we knew some of the stuff, but not.
Like with what came out in the essay article, he could just be like, manifesto. Like he had a Michigan manifesto.
And again, this is
600 pages long.
Yeah, I was just say, not a couple pages, not even tens of pages.
Yeah.
Hundreds of pages.
Yeah.
And
I bet Harbaugh read all of it. I'm kidding. Not all of it. 3/4 of it.
He skipped the glossary. Let's be honest.
That's right. But this guy, Connor Stallions.
Do you think Connor Stallions had notations of who he stole it from?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did.
I'm actually interested in reading it.
This is why I brought this up at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
I believe that you and Connor Stallions are closer than you want to believe. But I think you know in your heart of hearts that this is you with USC. And it's like...
Well, is there like cuckoo stuff in there? Or is it like...
Oh, we don't think that you have cuckoo stuff in yours?
I mean, first of all, the implication that I have one. How dare you, sir? Secondly...
Hold on. At the beginning of the show, this has changed. Because at the beginning of the show, it was, whoa, we don't use the word manifesto.
It's a Trojan textbook. The tablet.
That's right. The Trojan tablet. We don't have it in pages. It's right here. It's an encrypted iPad that I have.
You kidding me? You need a dongle to access this thing. Make it so some idiot can come over and grab this? No.
That's how idiots get caught.
Yeah, you just tell everybody that's the porn pad. They never want to touch it.
That's how Marines get caught.
Exactly.
That's the difference between a Marine and an Air Force.
That is the difference between a 13 and an ASVAB and a 99.
So if you're missing if you're tuning in now and missed it earlier, Connor Stein's a guy who is at the center of the Michigan sign stealing thing. He has a Michigan manifesto. It's 600 pages long.
Mm-hmm. I genuinely want to read this to see because he says he has an outline to how to become the head coach, the main man at Michigan. And I'm like, does this have a step by? Is this like a Tony Robbins step by step to wellness?
100%.
But it's a step by step to slowly turning yourself into a Jim Harbaugh skin suit.
That's right. And the answer is yes. And
it's like Steve Buscemi's list of people to kill in Billy Madison.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but also I think he kind of wants to wear not just the khakis, but he wants to wear the Jim Harbaugh.
He wants Jim Harbaugh.
As I was reading the SI article that was put out today, I was just sitting there going, wow, this sounds a lot like my co-host here. He worked in the military. He was like, my strengths are decoding things.
Working in intelligence, yeah.
Oh, okay. Huh. I know a guy who used to work in intelligence, really loves sports, is overly passionate about a university that he didn't go to, and but really wants them to win at the highest of levels. And now, yep, I could see you doing this with USC.
It hurts.
Using your brain. You're a smart guy, but you want to use your brain for like sports instead of like curing diseases and whatnot.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, all right, that's Danny. That's Danny. But except for you I mean,
smarter.
Smart. You are smarter.
Yeah.
You're an Air Forceman. Yeah. You're an airman, not a jarhead.
Exactly.
There you go.
I don't even know how to transition out of that. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk more basketball. Danny and Dusty.
Danny's Raider
Danny the Fan.
Manifesto.
Western Conference Finals opponent, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Dude, it's a big change for us in the world of the NBA. Like, it is changing, like, big time. If LeBron James is legitimately on a minutes restriction all season long, this is his mortality and this is him fading away. Because he played 29 minutes on opening night.
Yeah, and when he faded away for 21, 8, and 5 on 10 of 16.
He's really damn good. Like, he really is. He's still that good.
Yeah.
And I think, like, ultimately that's what leads to this minutes restriction may be what they say now, but they're going to need him, and he's going to power right through it.
Yeah, I saw a tweet out there that somebody needs to let Anthony Davis know that there's actually a second half of basketball that you have to play.
Boy, how different was it when LeBron was on the floor and off the floor? I think they were minus 19. Yeah, when he was off the floor, they were minus 19 when AD was on and LeBron was off.
Plus 9 with LeBron on the floor. It's a 28-point swing.
You cannot do that. And that's why I think there's like this lack of faith in Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis' skill is unquestioned.
Yeah.
How skillful he is. But you have to be able to perform without the likes of LeBron James if you're going to be touted as the guy.
And that's the thing is LeBron has made a very poignant effort to say this is not his team anymore. This is Anthony Davis's team.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's almost to deflect some blame if they flame out. Like if he knows that he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
That he can't be the guy.
Well, he still has it though. We know he has it, but it's like
he
how
was
long?
Very good last
how long can it be for?
Can it be for
I think
82?
he knows his mortality,
Yeah,
and I think that's why he says. I think there's some honesty in it,
for sure,
in knowing that it is he. So yeah, it could be deflection, like what you're saying. We're saying the same thing, but I'm looking at it as like no. I think there's more of an understanding that LeBron knows he physically won't be able to hold up for as long as he used to.
Can't do all 82 anymore.
Yeah.
Not at the 30.7 rebound, 7 assist ratio.
That's wild.
But again, 21, 8, and 5 on 10 of 16. Really good.
But that's not even the craziest thing in that game, though. The craziest thing in that game is that the team that won it, the team that got their rings and that sprinted to another win and just showed everybody, yeah, by the way, still here, still really good. Nikola Jokic actively avoided the game of basketball for 3 months. And then just picked it up and was like, yeah, I guess I'll be the best in the world at it again.
Yeah, he went back to Sombor, Serbia, where he's from, and raised his horses. This is a guy who quite literally, he was sitting on his phone at practice watching horse races so that he was looking to buy more horses.
Yeah.
And he was like, leave me alone. I'm trying to buy my horses right now.
Yeah.
Like that's again, this is why the NBA has a problem with a face of the league thing, is because the best player on the planet right now does not give a damn.
He didn't want to go to the parade.
No.
And then he ended up liking parades.
And then he was like, oh, I actually like this. This is fun.
He loves parades.
You could see the just unmitigated joy on his face last night. And it wasn't about him. It was about how happy he was to see his teammates happy. And I thought that was really cool because he's kind of a robot. Not kind of. He's a robot.
He is a robot.
And so to see him show that emotion, you could see the big smile on his face, like really take it in one last time. Because ring night and banner night, that's the real, like, okay, it was real, but it's over.
And those last forever.
It's on to the next, though. By the way, side note, their rings, did you see them?
I did. I didn't really get a great look at them.
They've got a little pop out on them because that's the new thing.
That's the new thing.
Either the top comes off or this one has like a drawer that slides out, and the drawer kind of slides out of it, and it's got a championship banner in it.
Oh, look at that.
And then there's a basketball on top of the Larry O'Brien trophy on the ring that spins.
Oh.
And when it spins, it changes the colors of the mountains from white diamonds to blue diamonds. It also changes on the white diamonds. It is their founding year, which I believe is 1963 with the NBA. And then the blue diamonds changes a little thing on the outside to 2023 for the title.
Does that let you know when the beer is cold?
Yes. I think the mountains going blue was kind of an ode to.
Wow.
But the ring itself, it's one of the better like
these are getting crazy.
They are.
Yeah.
What is it? Jason's of Beverly Hills is the one that does it all. But there have been some I've seen lately. I'm like, that's cool. Like they're always great, but it's like there's been levels to it. This is one of the like better looking.
Wild.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. Also,
How do you do that?
Jokic was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was really good at basketball again.
I mean, the way he dictated the game is what finished 12 of 22. Yeah, 12 of 22 at 29 points, 13 boards, 11 assists. Looked like he didn't miss a beat. Beat the living hell out of Anthony Davis. The game opened up. I believe both teams hit their first 4 shots, and it was this up and down affair. It was like, oh my God, this looks like the Western Conference Finals again.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Davis tried to take one on Jokic and stepped through, fell over, like hit the bottom side of the backboard. And that was, I think, the kind of the beginning of the end as Jokic decided to assert his dominance, as it were.
Nuggets are still really good. The Lakers are still good, but I don't believe in them because I won't believe in them. But they're going to be 2 of the top teams in the Western Conference, and we know these things. The other game, though, was with the Suns and Warriors, where there was a lot to be made about how this Warriors team is going to work with CP3 starting at point guard, and then you have Steph, Clay not negotiating with the team any longer on a deal and looking like he's going to hit free agency. I'll believe that when I see it. Yeah. And then you have this new look Suns team even without Bradley Beal. And the conversation that coming out of it was, dude, Nurk does look really good in this system. He goes for 14 and 14, and he operated very well.
Middle of the floor.
And that I'm happy for Nurk. Like, I'm happy he gets his fresh start, and this is going to be part of that, like, the Blazers fan base that is overly optimistic. They also are always like, see, guys, way better somewhere else. Well, yeah, this fits him, and it's going to be a win-win.
Option, yes, when he's the 5th option with the greatest scorer maybe in the history of the league and Kevin Durant on the floor, yeah, he looks really good.
He was the 4th leading scorer last night, and you mentioned the 5th option. When Bradley Beal's in the lineup, he'll be 5th.
Yes, and then he did have 5 fouls last night, and he did, like, it was like, I had somebody last night say, well, he's being put in a position with a point guard who's actually willing to give him the ball in crunch time. And folks, Damian Lillard had 1,800 passes to Yusuf Nurkic in 18-19. If you look at the most Luka Doncic has passed to a singular player in his NBA career, it's around 700 passes.
Okay,
just think about that for a second.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. I'll just make it even simpler than that. He was the 4th guy that they were going to defend on the floor.
And they threw 2 at Booker, and Booker made the right read and got it to Nurk, and Nurk made a shot. And
you tell me, who are you going to defend? Kevin Durant,
Devin Booker,
Okogie,
who was on one,
Okogie, who was 7 for 9 and made his only 3, and then Nurk.
Also Grayson Allen, who I don't care how poorly he's shooting. Listen, we can all hate him and all those things, and he was 0 for 6, 0 for 5 from 3. Grayson Allen, this is the difference.
I don't need your permission to hate him.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll do it on my own.
Yeah, you can hate him all you want. He's very hateable. But it's like the same thing like when you talk about the Blazers. Like Matisse Thybulle, even though he shot 38% in Portland, his reputation is that of not a shooter.
Yep.
Grayson Allen, even on a bad night, you still don't want to leave him wide open. No. So your options are trap Book, get the ball out of his hands, and then make Yusuf Nurkic beat you, where in the last 3 years, he has shot under 53% in the paint in the 4th quarter.
Yep. Yeah.
As a 7-footer. That's not good.
And, oh, by the way, Grayson Allen was not in the game on that moment that he made the game. They brought Eric Gordon in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gordon.
But here's the thing. They brought in Grayson Allen for Nurk right after that as the closer for those reasons, right?
Yeah.
Like they took Nurk out, you got 5 fouls. Nurk hits that game winner, but they brought Gordon in, who was also wildly efficient for the Suns last night. Like, he's gonna be better there because he is an above average starting center in the NBA.
Yes. And his playmaking is going to be the thing that makes him very valuable.
And now he is not a guy that teams are game planning for, saying we got to take Nurk away.
It's also they aren't going to rely on him. I think Nurk's going to do really well there.
I do too.
I genuinely do.
And I'm happy for him on that.
I am too. And look, Nurk and I had a back and forth. Everybody got like, oh, Nurk's mad at Danny. Nurk and I talked for about an hour after a game. I want to say about a month into the season. And it's kind of funny. The frustration point that he had was that I said Ayton was better than him, and now in a world where he's replacing Ayton and Ayton is here in Portland.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. But as a dude, as a human being, there's not many people in the league that I like more than Nurk. The guy cares about people, man. He genuinely does. And so I've never held any ill will towards him. And I hope that genuinely, I hope he's wildly successful in Phoenix.
Yeah. And we'll see how he is in game 82, not game 1.
Yeah, no, good for him. Let's see what this looks like when they keep trapping Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and then they put him in a position to where he has to be the guy that wins for them.
Oh, sure.
That's going to be interesting. All right, coming up next, it is NBA season kickoff. Dusty and I will make our picks that we will track all season long, and I'm sure those won't come back to bite us in any way, shape, manner, or form. Danny and Dusty, Danny the Fan. last year, obviously with Joel Embiid picking it up. I think that's the route he's going to go down. Who is your rookie of the year?
Wemby. Wemby.
I
like, watch him, and you tell me who is going to be better than him. He has the hype. He has the team where he will be the focal point. He is going to be the rookie of the year, and it will not be particularly close. It may be unanimous.
Yes, I am also going with Wemby. If you want to set money on fire, go ahead and bet on anybody not named Wemby or Chet. I don't see a world. Look, Scoot has better odds right now than Chet. It feels like a sucker's bet to me.
Yeah.
And that's not because Scoot could have a fantastic season. But the juice that Wemby has right now is just the gap that anybody else is going to have to cover to even catch up to him to start the season.
Be real good.
It's going to be nuts. Defensive player of the year.
I don't know. I think just because they're going to be really good, I think it's going to be Brook Lopez because he was getting a lot of that love near the end of last year. And I think that what we will see is they're going to say, hey, without Drew Holiday, somebody needed to pick up the slack on the defensive end of the floor. And I think Brook Lopez is going to get a lot of
That was
credit
some of the
for it.
knock against Brook last year. It's like, well, he's a great defender, but what does he have to do? He has Drew and Giannis on the floor.
Yeah.
Well, if Dame's such a terrible defender, that means that Giannis and Brook should have to pick up a lot more slack. And I think that's a narrative that is definitely out there that people are starting the season with. I'm going to go out on not the thinnest of limbs. Well, it's an 8-foot wingspan. I'm going to say Victor Wembanyama is a first-time rookie defensive player of the year. I have actually put money down on it. He is breaking the geometry of basketball already. Yeah. And the players that I have talked to who have watched him have all said some version of, I don't know what the bleep I'm supposed to do with this.
Yeah.
Like he's making people think about him before they ever play him.
Damn.
So when you hear players say, "Oh, I don't worry about it. I just play my game." No, they don't. No, they don't. They are 100% bothered, upset, worried, trying to figure out what the hell to do with this guy who quite literally had a foot in the paint and blocked Andrew Wiggins' three-point shot a second later.
That is crazy.
And I'm not talking like a foot in the paint at the free throw line. I'm talking he was 18 feet away. In one step jump, blocked a three-pointer. I don't know. He's going to lead the league in record scratches. And that's the thing is that he's going to get, I think his over-under line tonight is 2.5 blocks, which I think on most nights you should probably take the over until it reaches 4.
Yeah.
But I'll be shocked if he doesn't lead the NBA in blocks. Because as much as everybody talks about his hezzy, tween, step back, fade away, pull up three kind of deal, his offense is the weak part of his game. His defense is years in front of his offense. He has it's not that I'm long and I'm got good shot blocking timing. He understands how to play defense.
Yeah.
And he's going to be disruptive as hell. And I legitimately have not been higher on a prospect since LeBron. Like, full stop. There's nobody, as fun as Zion has been, as much as everybody was high on Luka, nobody, there is not a guy here in my life as a prospect where I've been like, yeah, other than LeBron. And it's just, it's going to be insane. There's never been a rookie defensive player of the year. There's only been one first-team all-defense member in the NBA. That was Tim Duncan in his rookie year. That's it.
Doesn't it kind of like this year channel on YouTube commented, this is why it's unfair Portland to get the number 1 pick. Spurs didn't need another generational talent.
Yeah, I know it sucks. They got a third generational pick.
That sucks because they got Robinson, Duncan, now Wemby.
And Portland had, well, we won't go there.
Well, we'd have just screwed it up. We'd have taken Scoot anyway.
No.
Kidding.
No. Kidding. God, that sliding doors, if those ping pong balls do come up Wemby and whether Dame stays or goes. And
yep. What that looks like, it's wild.
We're
to see
talking about a very different team right now.
Yeah, we would talk about the Blazers way more.
Wow.
Well, what?
Rude.
Because we'll get to our Blazers season predictions. 24-58. That's what my pick is right now.
Oh God. No. I went one game better.
Oh, you did 25-57.
25-57.
I'm going 24-58.
But
tonight's going to decide it.
You're going to change which way you go?
No, it's going to be between you and me.
Okay.
This
is the one game.
It's gonna be the one game. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
this is
it.
gonna be the one game that changes that 82 game prognostication. Well, pain. Because if Dame was here and Wemby was here, would you be saying 25 wins?
25? No, the record would probably be closer to inverse.
Yeah, that's what you'd be going with, right? Yeah, you would be going 57-25.
Like if you told me like the over under on the Dame, Ant, Matisse, Jeremy, Wemby team was 50.5, you could convince me of an over.
Yeah.
You could convince me of an over.
Well, here we are.
It'd be tough.
Going the other way with it.
You convince me of an over of 22.5.
And I'd be sitting there going 58-24. And tonight's going to be the decider.
I don't even know what to do with this. This is causing
you hurt so much there.
It's causing my brain to reset. Like I don't know where to go with this next. So screw it. Jeff, do your Sports Center update thing.
Now, from the Spirit Mountain
Even if you get Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Like Magic Johnson tweets are fantastic because it's like
both teams played hard.
Like the Commanders, what we couldn't do is score, and what we didn't do was stop them, and that's why we lost. It's football. It's like, what? What are you talking about? You'll do no S, Sherlock. But I like those tweets.
It is the safest. It's like the most PR approved tweet of all time.
And give me more of. I want Mark Davis's thoughts. I want to know what's going around in that little head of his.
Little cantaloupe head.
I want to know what Robert Kraft is thinking. You know, when he's out there all
Where is the nearest
sauced up.
massage?
Well, that seems fair.
Also, let's not be
Totally
honest.
fair.
He knows where.
Yeah, he's got an app for that. He's got a big app for that.
You think there's like a dark
man.
web app for that?
Oh, yeah. I think rich guys, I think there's a level of wealth that once you get to it, like it's like the everybody's like, where's the dark web at? Don't answer that question. I know you know where it is. But it's
Silk
like,
Road.
where's the dark web? And nobody knows where it's at. I think like rich people, they all know. Come on. They have an app where it's like you get invited to it and they share their dark, dirty little secrets, you know? I'm getting very scared at the way you're looking at me right now, dark web man.
The old rub and tug, huh?
Wait, no, that's not what I was saying about you. I was talking about the rich guys.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's I'm also a giant weenie. Wow. But yeah, I feel like that's like the entry level dark web. It's a long day.
Yeah, I think so.
It is a long day.
Have you what was the guy's name? The Fire Festival guy, Billy McFarland.
Ja Rule.
Yeah, Billy McFarland. Isn't that what he did? Was like he started like a club with that. Remember they had like metal cards that was the way you got into, and it was supposed to be for rich people. It wasn't, but it was like supposed to be. I think that exists. I'll go ahead. That's a tinfoil hat theory I'll subscribe to.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. But I think all of them should get on Twitter and let us know how they feel. Because most of them are just getting hammered up in the box during the game.
And we know that Jim Irsay is.
Absolutely.
Which is why it's great when he tweets, the NFL admits and understands that they did not make the correct calls at the end of Sunday's Colts-Browns game. I believe we need to institute instant replay for all calls, including penalties in the last 2 minutes of all games. Let me try that again as Jim Irsay. I believe we need to institute replay calls for all calls, including penalties in the last 2 minutes of all games.
That's right. That was a really good Jim Irsay.
Okay.
I think you did a good job.
Yeah.
That would bog the game down so much.
As if we don't go to a bajillion commercial breaks in the final 10 minutes at every stoppage of play.
Like, he's saying that, yet there's a bulk of owners that don't want to have the Sky Judge in, where they could eat, like if a Sky Judge was part of it and it wasn't a true review system and it was just New York and you only had the time in between plays to review it, then we're talking. Because I think when you leave it up to the coaches to review, or even like the officials on the field to be like, oh man, did we get that or didn't we? No, what you need to do is you need to have somebody in those crunch time moments reviewing every single play and saying, whoa, we need to take a closer look at that one. If that's the case, then sure, but it has to be expedited. It can't be something that drags the game out longer, because I really do think that is something that fans, they don't like about the last 2 minutes of a game. Like, it takes way too long. And if you can speed it up and get it right, sure. But I also think that getting it right is important, man. And like, I think a lot of officials have changed the way they officiate games for 58 minutes because they can rely on review. And then the final 2 minutes happen and it's okay. We're hoping somebody bails us out now because we don't have review. And I think we have a lot of calls that are missed that way.
Yeah, there's something to be said. We talk about wanting to get things right. And as long as you're not Rams Saintsing it,
yeah,
or Washington, Arizona stating it, let it go. Like, part of me really wants baseball to go to the robo-umps.
Sure.
But
getting it right is the most important thing in officiating.
It is, but I still believe in spirit of the rule and not definition of the rule. There's just something about that
you're right. You're right.
That variance on a 50-50 call I don't want it to be AI going, well, if I do this and because then what are we doing?
Yeah, yes, because the human element is very real. But I think one thing that we do is we criticize the officials and hold it against them far too much when we criticize the officials because they're calling, like umpires are a great one, right? You're going to see 230 pitches a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
As an umpire, and you're going to get roasted because you get 5 wrong.
And in reality,
like that means you're at like 98%.
Yeah,
and you're going to get criticized for 98%.
Most officials not named Angel Hernandez get like 97+% of their calls right.
And that's crazy to me.
And it's like, and it becomes, well, it's not about the total number. It's the ones you get wrong. It's like, yeah, I want the human. The sport is played by humans, so I want the human element to be there in those critical moments.
Because I feel just as players and coaches, officials aren't beyond reproach.
No.
Unless you're,
Angel
I
Hernandez.
want to say this. Unless you are a like youth sports umpire, let them call the game however the hell they want.
Oh, yeah.
Because get over yourself. But like if you're talking college and professional,
If you're getting paid real money, like this is your job,
you can. But there is an element of the spirit of the rule versus the letter of the rule. And I think this is probably the biggest part that they don't want to undertake in that a robotic officiating or AI officiating is they would have to rewrite the rule books to show gray area, right? To show, because right now when we go letter versus spirit, it is a human interpretation of it.
Mhm.
And we all know, like when you write something, okay, there is an element of you like if you were to sit there and we were to have robot officials in football, there literally would be a holding flag on every single play. Every single play. But the humans that officiate the game know that, all right, we understand that inside the chest plate and not outside of the frame of your body is how we're going to officiate and how we're going to call holding, right? But
and also, if it's on the backside of the play and you have literally zero chance of getting that no matter what, I'm not throwing the flag, brother.
But if a guy goes outside of the frame of his body and then he hangs on for a half second too long, but he lets go, we're going to let that go.
Yeah.
The robot ump would not do that. And they would say, nope, he was outside of the frame of his body. That's a flag. When we all know, like, was it technically holding? Yes. Did it affect the play? No. So we're not gonna call it.
My whole
that is letter and spirit.
Yes, my whole shtick when it comes to officials across all sports: advantage, disadvantage. Was an advantage gained? Also, was somebody else disadvantaged?
Yeah.
If the answer to those questions isn't both yes, no foul, no penalty, no flag, no nothing.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's my process for officiating.
I also think for officials, like the banter is good between coaches and officials during games. Like when you're lobbying for a call or when you're like, no, that is no way that is a flag. I think that is gamesmanship within it, and I think I like
and how
that
effectively
element.
you can banter.
Right, because I
what
think
am I going to go 1-0-0-1-0-1-0-1 to my robot arm? Come on, get out of here.
Well, and just wait till Jim Harbaugh he hires Connor Stallions to hack the robot official,
or it's Connor Stallions in a Jim Harbaugh skin suit to hack hires Connor Stallions to hack a robot.
Yeah, and then he's sitting there dancing in his basement saying, "Oh, you're sexy."
Go on,
Buffalo Bill. I'm not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it.
I'm not. No, because I can't. Because he swears in that scene. That was. Yep. He doesn't do that. That's Hannibal Lecter. It's not Buffalo Bill in the basement. That's closer to it.
Yeah, that's closer.
That's closer to it. Oh wait, she's a big old fat person. That's Buffalo Bill.
God, you do that pretty good.
Yeah. You want to get my van?
Yeah. Let's go for a little ride.
Help me move this couch.
Why does this taste like chloroform?
Yeah. Does this rag smell like chloroform?
Yeah. Do you know that it actually takes like a couple minutes to knock you out with that?
I didn't. I'm
Not from what I see in the
surprised.
movies.
It's it takes more than just a few seconds. It takes a couple minutes.
Yeah. This is the least surprising thing that you know that.
I mean, through tests.
Again, Danny, you should probably go to break before you go to prison.
And with that, this next break brought to you by Chloroform. Danny and Dusty, 1080 The Fan.
Seahawks.
Wait, there was that many?
There was Shaft's big score in 1972, Shaft in Africa in 1973, and then the Shaft in 2000 was Samuel L. Jackson. Sam Jackson played his nephew. And then
That's right.
And then another sequel with the same name in 2019.
I didn't know there was a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to go watch it. I actually kind of enjoyed the one with Sam Jackson. It was fun little flick.
Shaft was one of those movies, like my brother and I, when we got the go ahead from the parents to we got the green light at the Blockbuster Video to rent R-rated movies when we were like 12. We went through the slasher films, your Texas Chainsaw Massacres, Friday the 13th, Halloween's, all those. But then we also got into just like a bunch of pimp movies. Like basically, it was Shaft. We got into Shaft.
Little Superfly.
Superfly. Yep. We went through like
some of the blaxploitation flicks.
We went through Shaft was great because like it wasn't just Shaft, but it was like Bumpy and like it was Ben Buford. Like you had they were great characters in those films, right? And then we went through like our like car wash phase.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, car wash, and then
maybe a little DC Cab.
Yes. Went
Taxi Cab Confessions?
No,
that's a different show.
That's a different show. It's on HBO. Porky's. Yeah. We went through the Porky's run, and like it was Thunderdome. We parenting optional, I believe, is how that went. But we turned out okay-ish.
Yeah, that Shaft. He is one bad mother.
He is one bad mother. Yeah, he is. And Barry White, who voiced the theme song for that, obviously going on to be
Isaac Hayes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Isaac Hayes. Sorry,
Yeah.
went on to be chef in South Park.
Correct.
Not Barry White. I'm sorry for that. That was
chocolate salty balls.
Chocolate salty balls. That's right.
You can't say bad mother bleep, but you can say chocolate salty balls on the radio. What world are we coming?
Well, no, because
we're
that's
talking
what he
about
was
fine
cooking.
little baked confections.
Yeah.
Like
R.I.P. Shaft.
Like Pete's sweaty balls.
Which God, such a great.
They look slightly misshapen. It's because they've been resting on a hot stove.
All right.
Love it.
R.I.P. Shaft. R.I.P. Richard Roundtree. Hot damn. All right. Something that we need to talk about tomorrow that I have just found on the internet, and it needs to be discussed, is in February in St. Augustine, Florida, there will be the Florida Man Olympics.
Oh, somebody's dying there.
Yeah. Some of the